Hello, everyone. This is Coach Mike Ronchetti, and I'm excited to have a fellow business owner right from Indiana here with me today. It's my pleasure to welcome Steve Spurlock to the show today. Hello, Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
Fantastic, and it's going to be fun for the next few minutes talking to you and enjoying learning about your business. So let's start with some introducing of yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your personal story, where you're born, where you live now, maybe about your family a bit, some hobbies. And of course, if you have that funny story that everybody remembers you about or you want to tell, go ahead and tell us too.
Sure. Well, I grew up right here in the region. Most of the first years of my life in Gary, Indiana, a little place called Miller Beach, and uh, moved over to Hobart for high school, and just kind of bounced around the area. And I'm currently living in Crown Point, Indiana. Um, I love sports. Ride motorcycles, play a little bit of golf, some bowling, whatever I can do just to have a little bit of fun and have a live-in girlfriend with two kids living here, and I have three kids. Two of them are off out of the house, and one's
Nice.
just about to be out of the house.
Yay. Fantastic. Great. Any funny story you want to cite? I mean, tell me
I,
about
I
it.
I really couldn't think of any funny stories. At least maybe not anything appropriate for this.
Well, we'll jump ahead then to the fun stuff then of your business because you have a fascinating story of what you're doing here. So tell us about that business and how it came about, what you're doing now, and at what point you had the confidence that you could actually run your own business.
Well, I was part of an executive group at a large business working in the broadcast industry, and during COVID, we got shut down. Things were looking kind of grim. You always thought nothing was going to stop TV. Nothing was going to stop production. Every movie you watch, there was some sort of TV in the background, things going on, and during that time, I was looking at some other options for, what to possibly do in the future. Well, when that hit, I got bought out from the company I was with and had the opportunity to jump into the payroll business. But the business I was in was broadcasting, and people say, "Well, how'd you go from broadcasting to payroll?" Well, as an executive in that business, we had over 19,000 freelance employees, and I helped developers design the database and the software to help track those employees on jobs across the US and even into Canada.
Wow. Wow. So you
So
had some
so
practical
once
experience.
yeah, so once that, opportunity opened up and I said, "Well, I've done everything gathering the data to put into the payroll system. What's the difference if I go and process it now?" So I just jumped into the processing side.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So tell us a little bit more about Paycheck then. What's this?
Payroll Vault? Payroll Vault
I'm sorry. Yeah,
is
Payroll Vault. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
payroll vault. Well, they create paychecks, so that's
Yes.
always good. A lot of people like their paychecks. Payroll Vault is a national franchise that has over 60 offices across the U.S. And it was designed to fill the niche of the small business need. There's a lot of small businesses operating. In fact, the small business is a huge part of our economy, but yet there's a lot of payroll companies out there that don't want to deal with the guy that has to pay one person or the woman that wants to pay 10 people. They want the 100, 200, 300. The more people that you get at one time, the bigger the money you're going to make in payroll. Well, that leaves a big underserved market out there of there's a lot of businesses in that, 1 to 50 range even. We're not limited to that amount of employees that we look at, but those are the people that we try to help out with compliance, just business in general. We have a lot of information, HR, how you hire people, how you terminate people, what do you do while you have those people, handbooks, all that stuff. They need help with that. And one thing I learned in this business is, I thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to love to meet local business owners and work closely with them. Most of the time, they're too busy. So they need that extra help and extra kick. And they're some of them are even stuck in their ways of this is how I always done it. Well, just because that's how you always did it doesn't mean it's the right way. And one day it might come back to bite you. So they really need people in their corner to help them out.
Got it. Payroll Vault's solving that problem, and you've been involved now a couple of years doing this with them. Is that right?
March of 21, we opened our office.
Okay. And is geographically, do you have kind of a zone, or you can go anywhere in the country if they come to you and say, "Hey, help me"?
We're kind of set up for that, little Northwest Indiana territory, but no, we actually can help anybody anywhere. Some people may feel comfortable working with me.
Hmm.
If they want really that local help, I could help refer them to an office in their area. But really, it doesn't matter where we work with you. It's the knowledge and the help we have behind it that kind of transcends borders in the U.S. And in fact, I even have a little plus because when I was doing all that work at my old company, everything from union contract negotiation to dealing with the federal and state and local laws, I think I have a little bit of advantage there over maybe some of the offices because I've dealt with so many different jurisdictions.
Yeah, yeah. You understand all the war stories, and you've solved them and positively made it happen. Good. So for everyone listening, check out the company in the link below in the description, and comment in the LinkedIn channel that you watch the interview and give us your thoughts on that. So yeah, Payroll Vault is obviously where you're at now, but let's talk about something a little bit, I guess, maybe past. Share a story or two of someone who pushed or inspired you that you could do it, and impact that they had on your life. Kind of an inward look, not so much your current life.
Yeah, I think I have to give that credit to my last employer because they always pushed me to new levels and they gave me opportunities to get to new levels. And from that experience of going, from just somebody who worked in the warehouse all the way up to ownership and being on the executive board, built a lot of confidence in me. And I always knew that I could succeed doing it on my own. It just was the push, I guess, of what
Yeah.
happened during COVID that finally said, okay, you think you can do it, get out there and do it.
Okay, so from that, what's your biggest learning as a business owner? Now you've been doing it for 3 years.
Just that you never have time. You never have time. You think that it's going to be smoother, things are going to grow certain ways. You feel like, yeah, all I have to do is this and that, and it's going to come. And there's always unexpected turns. I didn't know where I was going when I first got started. I'm like, how am I going to? It felt like I wasn't going to get that first client, right? Then all of a sudden I had one. Then all of a sudden I had five. Then all of a sudden I had 50 because thankfully to an accountant that I talked to, they wanted to get out of the payroll business, and I was able to acquire a bunch at a time. So that was really helpful. So that really spurred the business on. So I really appreciate that from them.
Huh. Well, you kind of lead to another question about, we know that business success doesn't happen in isolation. Tell us about your biggest challenge during the years, and it's possibly some fellow business owners who helped you get through it.
Yeah. So my biggest challenge is payroll's a low margin business, so you have to have high volume, right? During the time when I was starting up the office, I got asked to pick up some work in broadcasting. And luckily I did because I needed to pay some bills.
Yeah.
It's freelance work, so which I still do. I still work in the broadcast industry, but it leaves me plenty of time to still work with this. And I do have a very strong right hand at the office to help with all the payroll processing and stuff when I'm gone. But that is where the challenge is, right? You really have to meet people face to face to build business in this industry. And during college football season, I may be on the road 4 days a week. So getting to networking events, keeping that pipeline going is a big challenge. So that actually is one of my one of my goals is to be able to get to the point where I get enough business where I could kind of support myself a little bit off of Payroll Vault, and be able to pick and choose maybe a little more of when and where I pick up that freelance work.
Got it. Yeah, got it. I understand how that situation would help you get out of that isolation move forward without jeopardizing the home stability. It sounds like you've been able to kind of, for a while, morph into both industries temporarily with the idea that you're always going to figure out how to solve your long range problem. Is making Payroll Vault your future. So
Correct.
I heard you say that. Great.
Yes.
So if I asked you to pick three people in your business owner journey that's maybe most grateful for what you've been doing and getting you there, who might you talk about and how did they help you?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I have to say the franchisors have a lot of people there that helped, right? Sean Manning, Trisha Petty's over at Payroll Vault corporate office.
Hmm.
Very patient, always willing to help. The marketing department people there, Jessica, Tim LaFell from sales, they're always willing to jump in and help out. So, and of course the tax and operations side too. We have so many resources there. So that's why I'm saying, we're operating as a small local business, and we are. We own and operate the office,
Yeah,
and it's just a couple of us here right now. As we grow, which when you're working with local office, you get more attention. But you don't have to be afraid, like, am I too big for your little office? Because we have so much support from not only the other offices, but also corporate. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds.
got it, got it. So that's positive. So looking at how you take this opportunity that you've got in your hand right now, and you know you're getting better at it, and your confidence is building. How do you think you're going to look at the next 1 to 3 years? I mean, what's your number one point of growth, or maybe the challenge you're going to achieve with those goals?
I think the biggest challenge is just trying to keep out there and keep in front of people and getting to as many networking events and other types of events, and get find ways of getting warm leads. Warm leads are the best. Nobody wants 20, 30 people calling them all day long that they have no idea what your business is doing. They don't know who you are. They want people that kind of, were referred to them warm. They know, kind of have an idea of who you are, your reputation. I don't know about you, but I'm getting my email blown up all day long about people asking me about my accounting business, and I'm like, my thought is, like, if you really looked at us at all, you'd see we don't do accounting. We just focus on payroll. So, you
Yeah.
know, those, so I just trying to get those warm leads and get to know business owners and build the network. That's the biggest challenge.
Okay. So kind of leads to in this section kind of a final question about we have a business a coach that basically has been I call a legacy in our world, our Hall of Famer Jim Rome, and he passed away just a year or two ago. But up till then, he's been really giving a lot of advice, and one of his strongest things is we become the average of the five people we spend the most time with. As you think about that, what advice would you have for business owners who are trying to do it all on their own?
You got to have a strong network. You have to have people around you that lift you up, and a lot of times smarter than you, right? You want to learn from these people. You want kind of partners out there that you can call on. One thing I learned years ago is I don't need to know everything. I just need to know people that know things. You call and get those answers. Luckily, we have the internet now, but you can't trust everything on there. You got to call people with real world experience that have those answers, and you feel confident that you're getting the right information.
Nice. So, Steve, sounds like you've been blessed with some really incredible people with your helping you along the journey, even in your broadcast background, even to today where you still have that background, but you're diversifying into this whole paycheck world and helping other businesses who really have a need at a certain time in their day or their week. What would you like to say to those people who've helped you out?
So I say thank you for everything you do for me. Your patience with me is very, very reassuring. There's a lot of times as a business owner, you just get overwhelmed, and people that are willing to to just say, hey, everything's going to be all right. We have you. We have your back. And knowing that they're a phone call away when you need to vent and get some perspective. That's the huge part about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Hey, Steve, it's really been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you for being on our show.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me.